to. My name is Chicka Slim Shady.
Is it though?
It could be. Wait, what the hell? What was that? You know what? I was driving around in work singing the other day. I know it was just recorded, but this just made me laugh. I was driving. These chicks don't even know the name of my band. But they're all on me like they want to hold hands. Yeah, that was a throwback that I didn't even think was a throwback in my mind.
Scared.
Hi everyone, welcome to the UnCapt Gaming Podcast, where you're with me, Squigs. Dale, it's me, and I'm joined by two absolutely beautiful people in Phil and Lloyd. I don't know if I'm pointing to the right people on my screen. I am. There we go. I just guessed. And we're talking about a multitude of things this week. We got a couple of things to get through.
We missed a week, and
we did miss a week. Apologies. It was me and my wife's anniversary. We were away, and I think they'd fall apart a little bit without me. Nah, I'm joking. They'd be fine without me. They'd probably be a bit more productive without me. I'm not gonna lie.
We mostly just sat there like slacking you off, saying how dare you go and let's celebrate your anniversary.
Do you know what? That's fair, because I was away and I was like, oh, I could be on the podcast right now. But I digress. So it's kind of a big month for games. There is probably the biggest game of the year coming out this month, so we'll get onto that later. We'll talk about that a bit later. But firstly, and most importantly, what have we been playing? What have we been playing, lads?
do you want to start, Phil?
Yeah, go on, Phil. You can start off.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like my playing experiences this last couple of weeks has been of the traumatic kind. So because the two games I played most are Last of Us Part 2 and Kena Bridge of Spirits. So I on my own channel, on my stream, I did a permadeath challenge on Last of Us 2, which ended in horrible tragedy. As basically it was in a section that's quite tough anyway, but then I got caught and then I panicked, which is, I think, the worst thing you can possibly do in that situation is when, the enemies have seen you know where you are, and you panic, and then you start making stupid decision after stupid decision, and your health start going down, and you're just trying to regroup, and you can't because you're just going, ah! And yeah, I lost 3.5 hours of progress on the basis of that, and just got my brains blown out. So that was very sad. It was very sad.
Well, it was quite unfortunate.
It was also, I think, quite amusing, probably to an outside view, but not to me. Not to me. I was personally scarred.
I don't think I could do a permadeath thing of anything. Even Nuzlocke in Pokemon scare me. I can't be bothered to lose that much progress. Yes.
Yeah.
So you need to have grown up in the generation where even not talking about Mega Drive and stuff, even PlayStation 1 era, because most games you could only save at certain points. So if you forgot to save or you chose not to save because there was limited, you just lose it all. And
I mean, there was the infamous story about my Spyro game with my sister stepping on the restart button when I left her on for a good week trying to beat Spyro. So I've experienced that pain, Phil.
Yeah, we can have memory cards either. We can have internal hard drives.
We have all suffered.
We've all suffered. We're all old enough.
So they're the two games you've been playing then?
Yeah, and Kena, I think that's not quite so dramatic an ending to it, but one of the most recent boss that I faced was sort of the end of one of the first spirits you got to deal with, and it must have took me an hour or more to finally defeat that, because that game is ball-breakingly hard, even on normal, let alone on hard or ultra-hard difficulties. That's just oof, they did not make that with an easy... I mean, there's a story mode, which may or may not be a walk in the park by comparison, but your bog standard difficulty is going to challenge you. And
that's
make you want to pull your hair out if you had any.
I can't remember the last like boss that really stumped me and really annoyed me. I mean, Smaug and Ornstein's pretty fresh in my mind, and that was something. Jeez, but no. What about you, Lloyd? What have you been playing? Because I know we're going to say the same thing.
Yeah, so I played a game called Capia. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I kind of just woke up one day and it was in my Google box, and I realized like back there on Kickstarter years ago, and I was like, oh, that's nice, like nice little reward. So yeah, I played that. It's my new catchphrase now. I've nicked it from TikTok. I'm gonna sued. But yeah, so I played that. It's just like click and point adventure. It's quite quirky, I think.
Yeah,
yeah, it was cool. There was definitely frustrating because it had those like moving cameras where like you click one place and it moves the camera, and it's just like you have to get. But other than that, it was cool. A lot of good world building in there. And it was their first game, so can't complain too much. But other than that, obviously, just the casual Pokemon mastering.
Not shiny mastering though, no.
Nah, just trying to catch them all at the moment. I'm not too bothered about the shinies. They can come after. They can come in a later life. But yeah, I'm having too much fun on that. It's
so good.
It's just such a good game.
It's so much fun.
I think it did enough to kind of take it away from the other like the last sort of Pokemon, and kind of make it new and fresh. And it's just great. And yeah, I love the world, like the village building. I love like progress in a game where like you can see
it happening,
what you've done and stuff, and like I see all the little Pokemon appear here and there. It's like, that's my Geodude. I caught him in this route. And,
do you know what I did that made me absolutely laugh? Was do you know the farm?
Mm-hmm.
So anyone that's playing, there's a farm in the village which you can like set up for like medicine or things like that, like gatherables that you need. So you give them Pokemon to upgrade the farm, and the idea is they're like tilling the land and helping out and stuff. So I've given them two alphas, and it just looks so funny because they're just giant Pokemon. And these people are just so small compared to them. I think I give them like a Rhyperior and what else did I give? I think it was an Onyx, and they're just huge. They're so big, it's incredible. But no, it's
Onyx and a Rhyperior.
Yeah.
Thanks for spoiling that.
Wait, how is that a spoiler? They're in the game.
It's because I gave him a water in the ground, and it was
no, not Onyx. Gyarados. I give. Gyarados. Yeah, Alpha Gyarados.
I got a Beazle. I've got a little Beazle next to my big Graveler.
It's a good game. Other than my thumb's killing me from tapping A through the story. Because the story, like, stripping it back, the story is pretty interesting, and it's pretty good because you have all these conflicting, people, and they're trying to work together without all going to war again and stuff. It's really interesting. But the story, it just is forced upon you, and and you'll exit your 8th cutscene in a row, and you'll go to leave the village, and you'll see someone at the end that wants to speak to you and bring you into another cutscene, and it's just like, oh my, just let me play the game.
I think that's the thing, though. It's like it was obviously going to be very story heavy because that's the point of the game, really, and it's Legends Arceus.
It's about running around in bushes, launching Pokeballs at unsuspecting Pokemon, and forcing them to battle you. I couldn't say the words, but it was coming out.
So it's going to be a challenge to speedrun it then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless they find a way to skip dialogue quicker, no, you're not speedrunning this game.
Yeah, I think it was going to be very lore heavy.
Did you see people speedrun the new Brilliant Diamonds thing Pearl in something like 17 minutes?
No.
Yeah, just game breaking stuff. Like Pokemon Blue level stuff where you like go through the menus and end up like at the final champion thing, and it's just like, what?
People are insane. Stop finding glitches, guys. Do it properly.
It's nice to hear me ask, or one of us ask, what we've been playing, and none of us being like, oh, I haven't got time. We've actually been playing games. That's pretty cool.
I've made time. Job. Just to play games.
That's not too bad, though. That's a good thing to do. Screw work. Play games. But no, don't actually do that, people. Money's quite important, I suppose. But
No,
we'll
quit your jobs, kids.
no, don't make sure you're sustainable first. I don't want to be a sensible person, okay,
Quite
but I'm gonna
smart,
have to be here.
Quite smart.
To be fair though, I think if anyone is listening to this podcast for like moral guidance in life, then they're in the wrong place anyway. So, you know,
Can you imagine coming to me for moral guidance? Jeez. And then I just like on the wing, I have Lloyd and Phil next to me giving the best advice ever, in quotations. But I think it's a good way to start the podcast with the big topic of last week and just see if we have any additional reflections or notes on the Microsoft Activision-Blizzard acquisition. I know they're being investigated now, or like to see if it's okay that they can do it, right? By the FCPAFFYYWXBY or whatever they're called. It's always
FTC.
letters and the
Yeah,
FCC.
So from everything I've been able to see on this, it's not something particularly like outstanding. It's not sort of because this deal is a complete wild card and everyone's like, oh, this is just, I think any kind of massive acquisition of this nature, then they need to do investigations for not investigation, what's the word, review, because that's what it's not an it's a review.
Okay.
The main thing is that it's being handled an antitrust review, so it's making sure that it's not like sort of monopoly sort of that kind of area, but it's being handled by the Federal Trade Commission rather than the Justice Department, who apparently normally handle these things. So I think that seems to be the thing that's different. But again, I don't know enough about US trade business laws to like know what that means.
Yeah.
Because I haven't got a clue about it, but I thought all this would have been like done earlier in the process of buying something. Like, especially if you're buying something big like that, because this seems like if they say no, all your plans have gone to like ruins. I would have thought this had been something that you would have done much earlier in the process, but I guess not.
I mean, presumably once it goes to that sort of like, there's no way to kind of keep that quiet, is there? So it has to be after it's gone public.
Yeah, well, I suppose so. Yeah, because then I guess they got a record and stuff of it, and yeah, I guess so. That makes sense. It's all too confusing. Like business stuff just doesn't really interest me that much.
I think America is so different to over here as well that it gets even more confusing. But it'd be interesting to see what comes out of it. So.
Yeah. So it's like we're just reading from the article that was on Video Games Chronicle. It says in the case of mergers and acquisitions, regulators can prohibit deals which are considered to threaten market competition or suggest remedies such as an obligation to divest part of the new business, which I think from some of the stuff I've seen, that seems to be what happened when Disney purchased Fox. Like they couldn't purchase certain parts of Fox, like the sports and the news, because they already had sports and news things that they own. I don't know which ones, but that basically...
Yeah. So it's like, I guess it's like Fox Sport or Fox News or whatever. Are they still Fox? Are they still got that branding? Or
they're still Murdoch owned, as far as I know. But I've not seen anything about rebranding. But then again, I obviously don't follow Fox News. So
no, it was just interested, you know.
It'll be different with this though, because surely that will mean different studios would kind of remain independent from Microsoft.
Yeah, I can't see how it'd be the same, because the only thing that's new is like there's still plenty of third party, not just developers but also publishers as well. So that the only thing that's new is that they've got mobile in there, but they're brand new into mobile, and
they don't really have much in mobile, do they? So it's not really a threat in nothing.
Yeah.
But no further reflections on it. I think we got quite a lot of
we got quite a lot of it out last week.
It's kind of done a thing, and move on to the next topic, which people keep calling this the response. But this was in work since before the lockdowns and stuff, wasn't it? It was Sony buying Bungie. In the notes, I think Lloyd has written, "What does it mean? What does it mean? What does it mean?"
I definitely don't think it was a response, because, like you said, obviously they take time, and it's like you got another year, at least another year, until Microsoft actually fully buy Activision-Blizzard.
Yeah.
Well, how long was the Activision-Blizzard one in the works before it got announced publicly? Did they reveal
They
that?
didn't say it. No, I didn't say it.
So,
Because
I was
Mr. Spencer works fast, so probably like 2 days, maybe
well,
3 days.
it's not all this time,
I
is
mean,
it?
obviously
No,
not
you
2
had a word
days,
with
but
me.
I think I've seen something saying that it was quite a fast turnaround comparatively for the size of it. So it's potentially like so the Sony Bungie deal was probably longer in the works before the Activision Blizzard one, because obviously that was the different situation. Bungie aren't in the same dire straits as Activision Blizzard with all the allegations and everything. So
odd situation. But no, I think it's a good purchase. I remember reading something that PlayStation are looking to release like something like a few live service games by, it was like 2020. It was a date. I can't remember the dates, but they're looking into live service games, and obviously Destiny being what Destiny is.
Yeah.
Bungie's expertise there will actually be invaluable. Can you remember when live service games were the enemy, just like loot boxes and stuff were, and now they're just normal? And I actually think they're pretty good, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm like, I quite enjoy a live service game. Like, I haven't, but yeah, I'm excited to see what it scores.
Yeah, it'd be exciting to see PlayStation kind of step out of their
Comfort zone.
Their comfort zone as well,
Yeah.
and see what they come into. But from what I've read as well, Bungie, Destiny 2 is still going to remain like a multi-platform game.
Yeah,
which I think you'll see a lot of.
This is the other. It's non-exclusive. It's not an exclusive deal.
Oh, okay.
The
the
Bungie. Hold on, let me just see if I can find the proper. I got the press releases up. There was something in.
Yeah,
these, which basically they were certain like it doesn't stop them from publishing multi-platform and having like creative independence over what they make.
Okay.
They're an independent subsidiary rather than direct acquisition.
This is just all over my head, to be fair.
Jargon, big old jargon.
It's all marketing and business stuff that I don't get. I just play the games, okay?
Yeah. So on the press release when they've got Pete Parsons, the CEO of Bungie, and there's a whole section under the heading of creative freedom, and it says we remain in charge of our destiny, not intended, presumably.
Wow.
We will continue to independently publish and creatively develop our games. So Sony won't necessarily be the publisher for all of the things as well. That's an interesting part of it. And we will continue to drive one unified Bungie community. Our games will continue to be where our community is, wherever they choose to play. With Sony support, the most immediate change you'll see is an acceleration in hiring talent across the entire studio to support our ambitious vision. Yeah, so it basically they're pumping money in to get more staff, and I think from Sony's side of it, they're getting a lot more stuff in terms of technology, like development stuff that'll support their other developers as well.
Yeah. I guess the one thing they get though is I don't know how all the systems and stuff works and the what they called the engines and stuff, but whatever Destiny's built on, how they built that, like the gunplay for Destiny games, they're so good, and maybe we'll see some better FPSs out of PlayStation. Did they release any FPSs? They have like Killzone and stuff like that back in the day, or was that more? I don't even know.
I think the last major
Killzone was Guerrilla.
Yeah.
Okay. But they're obviously they're now making Horizon, so that's a different.
Yeah.
But it's not overly, because if I'm remembering it right, there were loads of multiplayers on the PS3 era, and then it kind of disappeared in the PS4 era. Where sort of the focus switched towards not first person, single player
kind of big AAA single player games.
And obviously, you can still get multiplayers on a PlayStation, but they were third party.
Yeah. Maybe. Maybe you will see PlayStation bring some FPS. I think it's more towards the live service stuff, though, and that's probably what they're looking.
Yeah,
I wonder if they'll make any of their big IPs a big live service world.
Well, funny you should say that, because the thing that just kind of occurred to me when you're saying that, like, and mentioned the PS3. So in the PS3, era was when The Last of Us came out, and obviously people think of that as a big story-driven single-player game. But one of the things that was attached to that, which is still extremely popular to this day, is the multiplayer factions. And obviously, the big kind of thing is that Naughty Dog are working on the like standalone multiplayer that was originally supposed to be part of Last of Us Part 2, and now is going to be its own entirely separate thing. So, if that's still in development and they're still working on it, does this? I mean, it might be a bit too late, but this sort of thing could presumably support similar projects like that in the future.
I mean, that's the kind of game that would benefit from being kind of live service, especially if it's in like a, because it is zombies and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, the multiplayer is more like it's basically battle royale. Teams of different from different factions within the world. You like pick and you go in like and try and kill the other team, and but it's obviously third person shooter rather than first person.
But that could be quite cool, though. I think as a live, because it could follow something like New World sort of thing, where they have the different factions.
I mean, it could follow like how classic BRs are doing it now, though. I mean, where the map gets blown up, and I don't know, this faction invaded in here.
Story.
Yeah, you know, I'll sing Apex's praise all day long, but what they're doing with their new characters and how they're characterizing things, and it's phenomenal. They're doing some phenomenal work. So, I mean, probably why PlayStation wanted a slice of that metaphorical, profitable pie, you know? Live service games are making money, a lot of money.
Bungie are apparently working on a new IP as well.
Are they actually?
Yeah, apparently. Expanded Destiny and working on a new IP was one of the things that were mentioned in a couple of articles that I read by. So, that'll be...
I wonder if it's going to be just how Destiny is just almost like Halo, but it's just a little bit different. I wonder if it's just going to be another version of that. But they'll set it medieval, and this time it'll be Spartans. But they're not Spartans like you know in Halo. They're these genetically engineered warriors. I'm joking, of course, but it's I always look out like nice. I think it's a good thing. Bigger studios kind of investing into new IPs because kind of fed up with sequels. I'm not gonna lie to you. I want to see some new stuff. So that's pretty cool.
But I mean, I think there's lots of stuff that could come out of this. That's really exciting to speculate, but I think a lot of people are losing sight because you see everyone sort of talking about this. This is the response to Activision, which obviously time frame wise it couldn't have been. And then the fact that they've said there will be more acquisitions in future, and I think Keighley repeated that, didn't he? Was it you were saying that before?
I'm pretty sure I saw him tweet that. I'm sure anyway it was Jeff.
Insight.
Yeah.
There's going to be another one.
There's going to be another one. There's going to be another game, mate, in the future.
Strike again, mate.
I can tell you that. We will, in fact, see more games.
There's going to be a video game out this year. I can tell you that much.
No, there is a big video game out this month.
Well, yeah, I've seen people like speculating, like, is Sony going to buy Capcom or Konami? And it's like, probably not. I mean, they might buy more stuff that fits in. I can't see them buying either of them for a variety of reasons.
Capcom doesn't get bought up by any. I don't think.
I think this whole like idea of everyone buying everyone is just so it's just so boring. If I'm honest,
the thing is they're not really buying much because the gaming scope, like the gaming sphere, is huge. Like, okay, you're buying big publishers, but they're not like.
But I think
everything.
The fact that this is non-exclusive, this is like the best deal to happen recently because it's non-exclusive, and it is just basically extra funding for Bungie to see what they could do, rather than them being like, oh, well, now you've got to follow our mantra, which is what Xbox have done with that. I'm not saying it's bad, but like, you know, it's not.
Yeah, I think it's a slightly different situation. Stuff's kind of going down at Activision. We need to sort it out.
Just from like a gaming sort of creative.
No, I get you. Yeah. But that was my one concern about Bungie being bought up again, is because I'm pretty sure both of times they've left, Microsoft and then
Activision.
ActiBliz. It was, we don't want anyone telling us what we can do with our games, and they just seem to run to the next big thing. But
I think
from
that's
what
why
they've
that's
said,
a big
it's
part
not.
of the big part of like the release, and that must be like heavily into the contracts as well. There must be all this stuff about saying like basically, I've got an image of that Parks and Rec clip of Ron Swanson just handing the sheriff a piece of paper that just says, "I can do what I want."
Good quote. But no, I mean, well, moving the subject forward, is we're recording this on the 2nd of February, and we'll just do a proper cow-eye too. Hey. Anyway, it's a big month. It's a very big month for gaming. Like, it's a good month for gaming. We'll start off with one of the smaller things that you've popped in, is Dying Light 2. You both said you've seen some bad reviews on it from what I've seen.
Earlier, I haven't really read much into it. I haven't played the first one, to be honest. So.
Yeah, I played the first one, and the first one you could drop kick zombies, which was the funniest thing ever. And the animation for it was just so funny. But I've seen that it's good, but the big term that all gaming reviewing likes to say is it didn't live up to its potential, which I still don't understand what you mean. Like, do you mean it's not good? Do you mean you're expecting it to be the greatest thing ever? Maybe lower your expectations? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I've not read any of the reviews in depth, but I've seen like a couple of things. Like, I think someone who I follow on Twitter mentioned like from playing it, and then I'd kind of skimmed over the IGN review. So I don't know what they said about the gameplay in general and stuff. I think if it's like the last one, then the general sort of gameplay loop is probably going to be quite good anyway. But it certainly seems that like they've got this a lot of bug. Like the one I saw on Twitter was attached with a clip of someone, like the character walking towards someone whose head was going like spinning all over the place like a basketball and like disappearing into the body and bouncing up and down. It was quite funny, actually, but I think that was probably not a clip of like an intended monster. It was more of a oops.
I think though, with these games being so, I think with everyone having the ability to record stuff as well, I think probably in older games when we didn't, this was probably a common occurrence as well, these little glitches like this, but because no one could whip out their phone or press screen grab or whatever and record it themselves, we just didn't notice it that much. You know? I think this is just stuff that's going to happen. Unless it's a Bethesda game and you just accept it.
Yeah, I was going to say it's the difference, isn't it, I suppose, between like having a few glitches that you stumble on because you do something random that no one was expecting anyone to do, or whatever it is, and then or it just being like full of bugs all the way through. I don't know which is. Obviously, I haven't played it myself, but I think it's that sort of. I'm not suggesting it's on the same scale, but it's the cyberpunk problem, isn't it? Of like, you know, all this potential of being this amazing game with all these different things and all the hype around it, and then all the bugs just like make you go, "What?"
Yeah, that was bad. I've seen stuff that Cyberpunk's getting like a next gen thing or something in it.
Yeah, so it was never released on the next gen, was it?
Oh, was it not? I didn't know that.
No, so the PC port is basically the next gen version, what it is, like, but they're improving it for the next gen. Now again,
don't worry, next gen people, you're still not going to get a good game then.
It's improved loads since you played it. Like,
is it actually?
It's not the greatest game, but yeah.
The other day, I was actually thinking about going back to it. Yeah. You know.
See,
but I think it's going to improve again on top of that because it's just solely for next gen.
I played about an hour. I've got the PS4 version, which I played on the PS5, but I don't think I saw any glitches. But I also wasn't overly taken by it, like to like carry on playing. And that was just sort of. It was just kind of like, oh, yeah, okay.
Nothing grabbed me.
I think we might have temporarily lost Lloyd. Oh no, there we go.
Yeah, that really.
It just looked like you were really concentrating, holding your glasses really still.
There.
Nah, yeah, it never grabbed me on particularly amazing. But yeah, that's Dying Light 2. I don't think any of us has really. I haven't played it. I was gonna buy it, but
yeah, I never
I-
played the original, so I haven't got much to say on this one. To be fair,
the original was good. It was fun. It was just a decent game. It
yeah.
wasn't amazing. It wasn't
Not enough to make you hyped for a sequel, then, or just more of a curiosity.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is I was hyped for a sequel, but the problem is there's just other things that I'm more excited for. You know, and in nowadays with how expensive games are, you kind of have to pick and choose. Do you know what I mean? You have to pick and choose what you want. You can't just like it's probably one of those games that I'll pick up in a sale and maybe play for a few hours and forget about, you know?
Yeah, I just spend your entire paycheck for February, just buy everything that comes out this month.
I can. I've been seeing some of the well, I'm not going to mention the game until we get to that section, so we'll leave that. But next, it's West Forbidden Horizon, the one that Phil's looking forward to.
I am very, very excited for this. I mean, to the point I have got the week off immediately after it's released, so I will be playing that constantly. But yeah, I mean, it's reached the point now where I'm not watching anything new because I know spoilers dropped about the PS4 version, and there's probably videos on that. And I know there's been more previews and stuff that Sony had put out, but once it got into, I think it basically once it got into this year, it was like, right, not watching anything new. Replay Horizon Zero Dawn, which I've started doing, although I obviously stopped to do various traumatizing permadeath challenges. But yeah, so and it's kind of it's an interesting one as well because replaying the original Horizon Zero Dawn. Obviously, when I first played that, I wasn't as good at it as I am now, but I also don't think I was as good at games in general because I'd not played games for ages and then got a PS4 and then picked this up and all this sort of stuff. So it's brand new, but that difference in combat experience is this time and kind of going through and even the things where you're quite low level and underpowered and fighting things. I remember the first time doing that, dying quite a few times, and even when I won, the fight's taking quite a long time to just wear down the. And then this time, I'm sort of jumping about, knowing when to hide and stealth, and when to come out and do all the other things, and just taking things down quite fast and getting into this sort of fluid combat. Just yeah, I'm good at this. But yeah, it's. I mean, that was really fun anyway. But I think a next gen upgrade version with new machines and new mechanics.
I
can't wait.
That'll be sick.
Yeah, it looks cool. It's one of those games that I'm not interested in, but I'm happy for the people that are really excited about it because they just seem genuinely just like a kid on Christmas, just yes, give it to me, that kind of excited. So I'm excited for the people that are excited to play it, but it's just never really interested me, you know. But not in a bad way. It's just because we're meeting like sci-fi-esque games, with robots and cyberpunk kind of. I find them a lot harder to get immersed in and excited in. I don't know why. I guess because my bias must be fantasy and medieval stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think it does cross over. It's more science fantasy than science fiction.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Because I mean, I like sci-fi into the TV, but fantasy is more the thing. I think I'm the same as you, certainly in stuff I read and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I did find it very easy to get immersed into this, and particularly the fact that a lot of the story, in terms of there's basically, without spoiling any of what happened in Horizon Zero Dawn, if anyone's not played it and wants to do it, but it's basically sort of centered around this mystery you've got to unpick, which is to do with the main character Aloy's identity, but also what happened to the world before. And there's cutscenes, obviously, and there's exposition, but there's a lot of this is picked through found artifacts, which are replaying audio and video recordings or finding notes and stuff as you go through all these old ruins and sites as well. in sort of that Resident Evil. So there's a lot of like buried lore in it, as well as the kind of overt cutscene story, and that sort of stuff has always appealed to me. And then on top of that, obviously you got the going around and fighting gigantic robot dinosaurs and climbing through things. And
it always interested me for that, but I guess because I've never had the PlayStation, I've never had the chance. But now that I've got one, I can still play it, I suppose. Maybe I will one day.
I'd be interested in your take, because we may have different sensibilities when it comes to games, so I would be interested in your take on it.
Like, I was noticing, because this is kind of going into a different area, but I was watching you play Tiny Tina's Wonderland Borderlands Adventure Series 17. I don't know the name, it's a long name, but it's the one that was with the PS Plus. Is it PS Plus? PS
Plus. The, Assault on Dragon Keep.
That's the one. And I was watching you play that, and you were very cautious and very, okay, I'm going to see if these two will fight each other. And then I was just like, watching, I was like, I would have just run straight in there and just been fighting like, I'm so hyper aggressive when I play video games. So it might actually be funny for that. Like, to see how, like, different our play styles would be.
Yeah, I think this is definitely one of the things, like, if you ever played, like, The Last of Us 2 or anything like that, because obviously there's lots of and the combat, it can be, like, you can play really aggressively and stuff like that, but the enemy eye always tries to outsmart you and flank you and all this stuff, so it's often better to stay stealthy and to sometimes avoid combat altogether. So if you want to go charging in, but you hardly have any bullets as well, so there's that on top of it. So
they said that about Resident Evil Village 8, Phil, or Village, or whatever. I'm really bad with game names today, like really bad. And you were like, no, you need to conserve ammo, and I was just running bang. Bang! Oh, you're gonna die too! Bang!
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it's a lot less true of Village than it is at, like, the earlier installments of the games. I think
that was the most interesting kind of duality, watching your playthrough of Resi 8 and my playthrough of Resi 8, because I just turned it into a straight FPS. That's all it was. It was nothing else. I was jump shotting around corners. I was wall peeking. I was doing all the FPS stuff, and I was watching yours, and you were like meticulously picking things up. Oh, I'm gonna need this later. Oh, this is gonna be really important. And I was just like, chat, where am I going next? Okay, nice one. Just run there.
I don't need to, like, work this out for myself or do the story. I just charge.
People can do it. Well, that's the thing, is it's the whole, like, I am literally Rex from Toy Story, where they use his head to bash through things. That's what I am in video games. It's like, just run me through, and eventually I'll find my way. I'll find out what I need to do. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, maybe I will look at Horizon Zero Dawn. I know that it's, like, on sale at the moment. I saw a sale for like £15 or something on a website for PC with all the, like, extra stuff and things. So maybe, who knows? Are you excited? Did you play? You played Zero Dawn, didn't you? Like a bit?
Yeah, a bit of it. I finished it. It's a big old open world game. So
big old open world.
Big and open world, and I loved it. Like, I love playing.
It's like Breath of the Wild, like everything else.
Well, it lost out on Game of the Year to Breath of the Wild. It's like, damn you, Nintendo.
To be fair, there's not going to be many games that could stand the Breath of the Wild, is there?
Well, yeah, I think
game ever.
What's that?
Most influential game ever.
Oh, I know. Everything, something will have a crafting system, and everyone will be like, that's like Breath of the Wild, that is. Oh my lord. It's like,
stop. Well, as we all know, there were no RPGs before.
No, Breath of the Wild revolutionized gaming. Before that, all we played was shooters and platformers.
Yeah.
And even then, we got the arrows and stuff from Breath of the Wild, you know? Have you got any urge to ever go back and finish that, Lloyd? You got a Switch now, Phil. Have you got any urge to play Breath of the Wild?
I mean, in all honesty, and I don't know how much hate I'm going to... I've never played a Zelda game of any description. Oh, like, obviously, in terms of older games, it was always Sonic, and then I've played a bit of Mario as well, but never played Zelda. It's just one of those ones that kind of passed me by for some reason.
Yeah. It's same for me. I bought Do you know the remake they released, Link's Awakening? I bought that the day it came out, and I have never been more bored playing a video game. That was so boring. Holy hell! Like I just couldn't. But that's just. I suppose that's just me. It's like you, Phil. I was always like Mario, Spyro was a big one for me instead of them, and Pokemon were kind of my like ones in that area.
No, I love my Zelda games. Just Breath of the Wild didn't do it for me. It was just everyone said it was like densely packed. I don't get that. Like it wasn't. I felt it was quite empty. It was just you had loads of sporadically timed enemies that you damaged your
things.
weapon. Yeah, and then you
And
break
then
your weapon.
All your weapons broke. Do
And
you know one of the things that I hate is like, oh, I hate when people like down the game online. It's like, yeah, because it's such an intrusive and bad system that it just makes the game so unplayable for some people.
yeah.
Just, don't worry, Phil. If you don't want to anger the Zelda, I'll anger any. I don't care.
Well,
I'll
I was just that
throw in
was
shots.
obviously one of the that was one of the things with Pray for the Gods. That like as much as I like the general concept of climbing on the big monsters and stuff, the fact that everything you crafted or everything you like your sword broke with after like you'd hit someone 3 times with it or whatever, it's just like again.
Like, weapon durability is fine, but like 1 hit, 2 hits and stuff. It's just like, why? What's the point?
You'd find some like they were half broken and
Yeah.
I think
inventory system to fight with. And...
Yeah, it depends what kind of game it's in as well, because like you've got in Resident Evil 2 Remake, you've got like secondary weapons. You could like if you're attacked, you can like throw like a grenade in the zombie's mouth or whatever. But you've also one of them's a knife, but you can also use it obviously to like do like direct attacks. But it's not very durable. It breaks quite easily, not quite as easily as the swords in Pray for the Gods, I must add. But like that sort of way, because it's the whole game is built around limited resources, choosing when to use stuff and whether to fight or flight, and stuff like that. So that kind of works. Whereas if it's like a game which is built around, I have big sword, we'll go fight, and then the sword goes, dink, it kind of, yeah, it doesn't feel very immersive.
Like it fries me. I'm one of those people that like, if I have potions in my inventory, I'm not going to use them unless like it's dire. Like I'm so bad for using items that I pick up. And I remember someone was telling me the Hyrulean shield, the Hyrule shield that you get is like the best in the thing.
Yeah,
it's got like a durability of X. And it's like, but I'd never want to use it.
Yeah.
Because at one point it's going to break, and like, what's the point? You know what I mean?
I think that's one thing they just shouldn't have changed from the OG.
Yeah.
I mean,
it would have been, for me, as perfect of a game as people were saying if it didn't have that. Genuinely. I enjoyed my time with it, but, you know. Anyway, let's stop hating on weapon durability systems and talk about
this entire episode is brought by broken weapons.
Broken weapons. Broken weapons and the frustrating mashing of A to get through stories. Elden Ring is coming. It's coming. Did you know it's coming out this month?
I don't know the thing about it. What is this game?
Small game, you know. Little game coming out from a little studio called From Software. They haven't released anything that big, to be fair. But yeah, anyone else as excited as I am? I've stopped watching things when they released their like tech demo. That's all I've watched. I've not watched anything else, and
I'm kind of dreading it, but in a good way, because I know I'm just going to get frustrated with it. But
they're going to be holes.
I can't wait to add it to my collection of FromSoft games that I have yet to complete.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Like, genuinely. Like, yeah, I don't really have much to say on it because I've not, like, you know, thing, but I know the director or someone was saying that it's not as hard as other games or something along those lines, and he thinks more people will complete this one, which is a nice sign. Hopefully we don't get a Smaug Ornstein. That'd be nice.
Is that because it's easier to kind of run away from bosses in certain situations?
I don't know. I just remember people tweeting it a lot, and I didn't see anyone getting angry about it, so it's got to be a good thing, right?
I mean, the thing with... Again, I'm not by any means like a Soulsborne player of any kind of. You've completed 2 Dark Souls games. I've completed none. So you're definitely more on this. But my kind of take on it is that they're not. It's not actually difficult in the sense like you go and you fight things and it's not more difficult than anything else. It's just a case of there's certain things you got to learn. You got to like be quite precise with knowing when to like do heavy attacks, light attacks, when to block and parry and all this sort of stuff. The only kind of thing that makes it difficult is the fact that if you die, you're going to be set back. It's because there's not this auto save system that can carry you through like more modern difficult games, like where you're sort of right by the last point you died anyway. So you just keep persisting, and somehow you'll just sort of squeak through. You've got to actually be able to go from that last hard save point to the next one.
Yeah,
do that without dying, which is obviously where the challenge comes in.
It becomes so like, I don't know if like, do you know when you play a musical instrument and you practice a song and everything becomes so just natural and like rehearsed? That's how Dark Souls gets when you're fighting bosses, because you've probably died to them about 18 billion times. You know almost everything. There's a few times you'll get through a boss on the first time because you just, I don't know, you bonk past it, just bomb until you win. But like some of them just get so thing. And when I was playing it, I didn't experience the whole, oh, I'm going to give up on this. I was like, oh, next time. I know exactly what I was going to get, and that's what I'm excited for. But I know you two are big story people, right? Massive story people. You like your stories, you know? Do you like stories? I like stories.
I love stories.
Are you excited for like George R.R. Martin's thing on this?
I mean, yeah, I'm interested to see what he's done, but I think it's worth pointing out like what he's actually done isn't. He's not written a story. He's done the world building. I think that's the main thing that he's done. Is like, he said like a few years back, the people from Soft came to him and said, "We're making this game. Do you want to help us build the world?" And he gave them he did a bunch of stuff and gave them that stuff. And then a few years later, they came back and went, "Yeah, look, we've made this monster with this, or we've done this thing with this." And he's go, "Oh, well, that was good." And then they're probably going to still be like that same, because it's quite minimalist, isn't it? The storytelling is like,
yeah, it's very drawn back.
It's not
it's environmental storytelling. You know,
I am Dark Soulsian the Third, and this is my question.
I bet you're wondering how I got here.
Record scratch, freeze frame.
Yeah. I'm kind of excited. I'm just wondering if he's built the world building stuff then. Is the world going to kill someone? Because he always has someone die. So are we just going to see?
You're going to kill a lot of people.
What's that?
You're going to kill a lot of people.
The player kill people? Have you played video games, Lloyd? We don't kill people. We just teabag them when they're dead, you know? I don't endorse that behavior, okay? It's going to be a running joke, that is, the entire thing. But to bring on to like other releases, this is going into April time, I'm pretty sure, from what I've seen. Legends of Arceus, there's heavy rumors that there's going to be DLC shown off as early as April. Are you excited for that, Lloyd?
Yeah, I'm excited. I want more.
I really want more.
First, but like I said in the previous podcast, like I'm quite excited to see more of this like lore build and the ancient times around Pokemon.
Yeah, it'd be really cool.
So yeah, I'd really like some DLC, but like I said, I haven't even completed the game yet, so give me a chance.
Yeah, no, okay. sorry. I'm literally on the last little bit of the story now.
Yeah.
Last little section, and then I've got all the end game stuff to go catch. You know, all the legendaries, get more shinies than Lloyd, because you know I'm a shiny man. You know,
I'm just a Pokemon. I treat everyone. They're all beautiful in my eyes.
Nope, they got to be shiny to me.
I think that makes you a magpie.
Yeah, I am.
If you're like obsessed with shiny.
I'm just easily distracted by shiny things, you know. But do you? Because they've confirmed this is the core game, haven't they? For the main series, but they did for Let's Go as well, didn't they? That was a core game too.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Does that mean that they're not going to build off those two franchises? Like, because Let's Go could literally go through all of the things quite easily.
I want them to.
What's that?
I want them to.
Yeah, I'd love them to. It'd be amazing. Because the whole Legends thing, you got always like the big kind of like I suppose you do like Rayquaza.
Yeah.
As an example, we're
Ho-Ho.
probably blowing
And
Phil's mind here.
The Golden Tower.
Yeah,
and
exactly. So you've always got like the main kind of legendary, and then everything around it. So it'd be interesting to see that because I know the Golden Tower thing with Ho-Ho. That's like ancient, ain't it? That's meant to be like an ancient story.
Yeah.
The thing
'Cause
tower.
They mentioned Kanto in there a couple of times. Is this Kanto? Yeah. Kanto's the first
Did they
one.
mention Kanto?
Yep.
Oh, I know they mentioned Aloha.
Yeah, they mentioned Aloha. They mentioned Kanto at the early game as well.
Oh.
So they're around.
Hey.
Yeah, because they keep mentioning Sinnoh, which is what that area becomes known as.
Yeah.
As well. So yeah, that's.
And is it Arceus or Arceus? Because I keep hearing people pronounce it Arceus, and I don't think that's right.
He's just
I'm
another.
pretty sure
just
it's
another mod
Arceus.
in my bowl.
Just, yeah, well, he will be, Lloyd. And you can't get him shiny because he's shiny locked, so that's annoying.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it for games coming out now, right? That's it for
The big ones, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just looking through the game release.
We'll be here all day if we're talking.
Yeah, no, but I mean, obviously, loads of them are not particularly interesting or not particularly new.
wow, Phil.
Um,
wow.
Obviously,
There's definitely some interesting games coming out this month.
Dale's favorite Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires is on the 15th. We've got Assassin's Creed the Ezio collection.
Again? Wait, where's that being
For the
released?
Switch.
Oh, wait, what? Really?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that is Switch. But then there's
Yeah.
also games like Sifu, which is on the PlayStation and PC.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I've never, I've not looked in too much into it beyond the mechanics interesting of where if you die, you get stronger but also older. So you're a bit more frail on that front. So that's an interesting thing.
I can't wait for that. I'm excited.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
I'd probably give that a look.
And let's see what else. Martha is Dead. Don't mention that game around
Martha.
Bruce Wayne.
How do you know that name?
I didn't know that name.
It has to be one of the most stupid plot points in any movie ever. Like, I'm sorry, it really has to be. Come on. It does.
I mean, I think people forget that when they hashtag restore the Snyderverse, because they forget that that's the Snyderverse is Martha moment.
It was a bad film regardless, like. But let's be fair, DC doesn't really have a good track record. I mean, they put Jared Leto as the Joker, so it's not, it's not really it's not a good movie franchise. Apart from The Dark Knight, they were very good. We're getting sidetracked very weirdly here. Any other releases that are interesting, Phil?
None there that sort of leap out. Like I said, the only other one that kind of caught me out was the end of last month, but I've already got, which I already got, was the they brought out the Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection, which was the remasters of Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, and Uncharted Lost Legacy together as a bundle. And if you owned one or the other, then you just had to pay a tenner and you got the upgrade for. I was about to say for free, then obviously for a tenner. So I have got that, but I mean, I've yet to play it properly yet. So
that's fair. I guess we move on to the news then of the week. Lloyd? Do you want to do a jingle?
The news. I don't know.
You got to give it a bit more like
I'm
not
a musical person.
It's the news with UnCapt.
Well, we can just imagine that long air as like it
was a drop.
It was a CD caught in a player.
It was the start of that thing that was it the Dolby Surround or whatever, where they go.
Oh, that thing terrified me as a kid. Holy. Damn. But we got some news this week. The gaming's been going on, stuff's been happening.
Gaming stuff has happened.
People's been doing things. It's technically what happens in the world, So firstly, Blizzard Rockstar veterans raise $5 million for new studio Lost Lake. I think that was that Phil? Was that your news article?
There's two new. I don't know whether they both started or starting new studios. So Lost Lake, new cross-platform game studio founded by veterans at Blizzard, Rockstar Games, and ArenaNet. They've apparently got quite a few investors, which is why they've already managed to kick things off. So that I don't think we've seen what type of games they're going to make yet, but that seems quite interesting. Because one of the things we're talking about is all these acquisitions and like things that we are still getting more independent third party developers because they're popping up like this.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting, and I suppose they're veterans from Blizzard and Rockstar, so they're two big old studios. If they're veterans from there, they probably worked on the older GTAs. Yeah, and Blizzard maybe some of the Warcrafts. Yeah. I'm not quite sure of the story, but there's some, especially when you got veterans, there'll be some good games coming out of that studio.
It says here actually they've worked on StarCraft, Guild Wars, Warcraft 2, H1Z1, and Diablo.
Oh, H1Z1's like a DayZ game.
Okay.
I think it might be like a battle royale. I'm not quite sure, but yeah. So maybe some fantasy stuff from them.
Yeah, possibly.
Well, look at their repertoire. Secondly, gaming-centric Chromebooks reportedly in the work. Damn, I had a Chromebook ages ago.
Google, innit? No, Apple. What am I about?
Google.
Google.
Before we move on to that, just the other studio is one called Gardens. Just like it was on Nintendo Life, it was being reported. But the interesting thing there is new studio has just been founded on the west coast of the United States, but it's one committed to its work as being fully remote with unlimited paid time off, 35-hour weeks, and benefits and perks that vary depending on the country in which you work. Called Gardens. So we got people who worked on Spider-Man, Wolf Among Us, Ratchet and Clank, Fulbright, Blazeball, Where the Cards Fall, Ashen, The Hobbit. So I don't know whether this is in like a first party for Nintendo because of where it's been reported, or whether it's a third party one. It doesn't specify. But people who were involved in Journey, Skyrim, and Spider-Man. So that's
two very heavily talented studios that are popping up there. I say popping up as if they've just like a surprise. Like it's probably been in the way for some time, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to see some new studios and new IPs.
Yeah, like I said at the beginning, I'm always interested in big new IPs to see where things go.
I imagine it'll take some time before we hear what they're actually doing, because obviously game development is a long process, but something potentially exciting in the works, I think.
Fingers crossed. Phil, will you be gaming on your new gaming-centric Chromebook?
I have never owned a Chromebook in my life. The closest thing I've got is that my Android phone uses Google Chrome because I can't get Firefox on there.
Wait, you use Firefox?
Well, at the moment, no, but that's only because I've been too lazy to
Chrome's incredible. I love Chrome.
Don't rabbit eggs.
What? Yeah, we don't talk about that, all right? We don't talk about negatives of things, okay?
No, we're famously never negative about anything.
Yeah, what I love about this is how many times it mentions RGB. It's like gamers like RGB.
The most important thing, right, in gaming, like as long as it's got RGB on it, it's fine. Like when games release and they're like, oh, the hardware you need is how many RGB lights do you have on your computer? If it's above 20, the game will work. That's all you need to know. You know
the power it takes to spin up the RGB powers the game.
exactly. You know, it's powered by how lit your computer is.
It will be interesting to see what it can actually do, because I mean, Chromebooks don't strike me as the most powerful things, and obviously one of the main things you need for gaming is having quite decent, strong graphics card, especially for anything newer or more technically advanced. So I'm not sure what they'll be able to deliver there, but at this and the news that Apple is considering its own console, they seem more than the Bungie thing. They seem more like direct responses to Microsoft, because they're the main Microsoft competitors in the tech world, and they're like realizing like Microsoft's making huge buck from.
Hey, did they not learn from Stadia? Like that was one of the biggest. I'm pretty sure the Soldier Boy console was more interesting than than Stadia. That was that was a shock, damn. But yeah, I didn't know about the Apple console as well.
It's not been confirmed like what it is. I think it's just a rumor at this point. Other than obviously it'll cost like $1,000. Every single controller will be sold separately. You have to buy the charger for the controller separately. They'll all have a like lifespan of 1 year, in which case they'll deliberately break. Then you'll have to buy the new one, which costs twice as much. Not that I hate Apple or anything. I think they're a big, gigantic tech cult, but they are.
Well, and it's all right because you can use Apple Pay.
Yeah, well, you know. But, I mean, I suppose they do have Apple Arcade to back them if they're doing that. And they got quite a few interesting, like... Well, they're mobile games, but I'm sure they could... Some of those studios must be, like, thing. I don't know. Maybe they'll leverage off that.
I mean, it depends what kind of console they want to make, but I really can't see them... When you've got the Sony... Microsoft, Nintendo, like it's difficult to see what you can offer that's new that fits into that. That's not just like trying to cash in.
Yeah,
I don't know. Plus, the other question is, there's loads of examples of console games being ported and made into like mobile versions.
Loads.
I'm not sure that there's an example the other way around.
No,
like the console version of Candy Crush never take off.
Be incredible. I'd play it. Well, I mean, it's interesting. I get less excited about tech in gaming than I do about games. Very much so. But another tech article here: Steam could have decent FPS due to AMD.
DLSS competitor, the FSR, is why they could have it. So basically, Steam Deck has been at the end of all sorts of criticism of whether it can hold the FPS required for the big guns, like Cyberpunk and whatever else. I only mentioned Cyberpunk because it was one of the games they showed on the thing. But yeah, so this, I don't. It's just like rumors. It could eventually look a lot better. So it's just a rumor, but I think it's kind of putting a lot of those sort of things to bed about.
Worries to shame.
Yeah. Because like I personally, if I was to get a Steam Deck, it would mainly be playing indie games in bed, like I do on my Switch, but obviously bigger thing. Like I don't want to play Cyberpunk or like Witcher or whatever else on my Steam Deck. I'm not too bothered about that. But yeah, for those out there, could be a good thing. Who do want to play their big guns?
Those are big boy games, you know.
Big boys games that a PC can barely run.
Well, no, I mean it's interesting, but I think the same. I'd probably use it for
the smaller ones,
like a small thing. Going into into the next article. We've already mentioned Capcom, but to further instate that we are a Capcom podcast at heart, they released their sales figures for. I'm not sure. Like, what was the dates? It must be like December. Yeah, end of December.
Yeah. So it's over like it's the sales of all time, but up to December 31st, because obviously some of those titles go back way. Everything that's sold over 1 million units.
I can't get over like I know Monster Hunter's a big game, obviously. Like I know they're big games, but I forget how big they actually are. Like World sold 17.8 million units. And then Iceborne, its DLC, 8.8 million. Like that's just like that's just bonkers to me. Sorry, just yeah. Is Rise on there? It's like 7.7 mil. Damn, Rise outsold Village.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the Resident Evil ones is quite an interesting thing as well. Especially, I mean, I suppose are more people gaming now than were back 20 years ago or whatever. I suppose, but like the original Resident Evil, which is like basically kickstarted the whole survival horror genre, is the whole reason that other Resident Evil, the whole series exists, because it was wildly successful. And like the two versions of the director's cut, each sold 1.13 and 1.2 million units, which is incredibly low when you think about it.
And
then
I guess influence from games like that, though, is like I'm not sure the actual term for it, but it's like a cone, you know? Few people will play, they'll tell people, and then more people will jump on for the next game, and it'll just build up like that, maybe. You know?
I mean, but even like Resident Evil Remake for the GameCube, which is like largely considered like the best Resident Evil game, the best survival horror game made, again, is just 1.35, and then you go to Resident Evil 6, which is largely considered where the series went completely off the rails. 2.3 million. It just I think it's just like the amount of actual sort of physical sales compared to popularity in the fandom don't always match up.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I don't know whether the Monster Hunters reflect that or whether they're in the right.
Well, I don't know. I think World may be considered one of the. Well, to me, World is like the best Monster Hunter. World was incredible. Rise is good, but I don't think it's anywhere near as good as World. Well, it's interesting. I would have thought the Village would have sold more.
I mean,
it's still an impressive. I'm sounding like I'm knocking it down. It's a really impressive number, but I would have thought it would have sold a bit more. But I guess Resident Evil 2, I guess I'm comparing it to that, but I guess that has a much more solid fan base to it, don't it?
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, as much as I liked Village, the Resident Evil 2 remake is far and away superior as a Resident Evil game. Although Resident Evil 7 sold more than that, that's, again, good game, but RE2 remake, I would have thought more. But yeah, I suppose it's been out longer as well.
Yeah, I was just going to say, does that not count for it as well?
I'd imagine so.
If it was within the same time span, it would be like, and they sold that much more, than fair enough.
Yeah.
Although the original 1998 Resident Evil 2 has sold more, that's on 4.96 million units, than Resident Evil 3 Remake from 2020, which has sold 4.9. But then, yeah, the 3 Remake was another one which was kind of, a lot of people thought was quite rushed, and there was a lot of cut content. And
yeah,
I don't know what correlation I'm trying to make any kind of case. There's absolutely no correlation between quality of games, sales, and how popular they are in fandom. It's just all over the place.
Yeah. I mean, for me, the whole thing was I think I forget how big Monster Hunter is. You know, it's weird. Like I used to like growing up playing it, thinking it was a really obscure game, but it's not. It's giant. I think that's what struck me about that, because I think I hear more about Resi than I do Monster. Maybe that's because I'm around Phil. Maybe that's because I'm around Phil. That's probably what that is.
But when you look
But,
at the other like Monster Hunters and stuff, a lot of them are kind of like around the 30th mark. So it's definitely the later games, and I think we'll definitely spike that interest in it. And I think because of availability as well. When you think World was probably the first like multi-platform. Was it the
yeah,
first multi-platform?
I'm not quite sure because I know some of them were like PSP
Yeah.
exclusives, Nintendo exclusives, but yeah, World might have been one of the first. It might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it
Yeah.
was.
So that probably sparked an interest across different consoles.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. No, it's interesting. Like, I mean, Capcom are absolutely slaying it. Let's be fair. They're doing things, you know. Just a second. I've lost where I was looking, scrolling through all that. Next on the news, PS5's outsold the Wii. Oh, the Wii U's lifetime numbers. I thought it was saying the Wii.
Yeah,
And I
no,
was like, that's an
obviously
impressive feat.
the Wii is probably, I imagine, because this is only like what 1 year or so sales, so it's nowhere near like the all-time console sales list. Like I think the PS2 is still like right at the top of that with it says here in the article 159 million units. So, and obviously the PS5 is only on 17 million so far because it's still a wee babby. But I think this probably says more about the Wii U than the PlayStation 5. To be honest,
the Wii U was. Yeah, there's people who love the console, and they're right to be wrong. You know, I'm joking. That was a joke. That was a joke. Please. Yeah,
I never had.
Well
I've got a Wii, but I never had a Wii U, so I don't know what the what is the actual difference. What?
There's like a
tablet.
It's like a Switch, but it's not a Switch, and it's nowhere near as It's like a little tablet thing that I think plugs into it. I don't know. I remember one of the Monster Hunters being on there, and I remember. I think so. Yeah. Or it might have been the one with the Licarius and the swimming and stuff. Because I remember playing that on on Wii. I think I was playing that. But yeah, no, it's weird, you know. Sorry, I just got me off. Yeah, no, the Wii U wasn't a very good console, but yeah, when I saw her in the thing, I thought it was Wii, and I was like, holy, it's like, where are they? I haven't seen a PS5.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that's obviously part of it is even like PS5s aren't available a lot, especially because of the chip shortage that's still going on.
Yeah. I wonder how many of those 17 million are actually just sat in some scalper's basement waiting to be sold.
Just like
probably like 7 million.
Me $2,000 for this.
That's interesting though.
No, the actual Wii, and I'm going to refer to it like that, the proper one, the real one.
The real one
sold 101.63 million units.
Is it the highest selling console? It is, right?
So, the highest selling is PS2. But then,
okay. Okay.
PS2, DS is second, Game Boy and Game Boy Color are third, PS4, PS1, Wii, Switch, PS3.
Wow, I genuinely didn't know.
So, I mean, it's a rare misstep for Nintendo as far as the Wii U, which is quite low there.
Yeah. I to be fair, seeing the DS up there doesn't really thing because how many iterations of the DS were there? There like 83
it does just say Nintendo DS family.
Yeah, damn. That was a weird console, the DS. Can you remember all the like third-party accessories you could buy and stuff, and the weird things that come with that?
Nintendo handheld thing.
Yeah.
Everything. Yeah. So there's a quality video on YouTube about it. I'll have to find it.
Well, you'll have to share it with us, Lloyd. And into the final news piece with the three letters that I hate because it
finally mentioned me.
Worms NFTs. They've retconned everything and said, nope, we're not doing this.
Yeah, if you want to know how to not read a room, follow T17. I think it's the general thing there. I just don't know. Like Team 17 have done like some weird things for an indie publisher. Like they've bought a load of devs and stuff, and like which is cool. But like this time it's just it's just a bit of a weird thing. Like they haven't really done anything with Worms either, which is they've done nothing of notice to it.
I didn't know they had worms. I didn't even know worms was still a thing. I'm not going to lie to you.
Because I originally saw it. I scrolled through Twitter and like I just saw some random picture of like a worm dressed up in like some really brightly coloured thing, and then I was like, "What's this about?" And then I scrolled down, and everyone was like, and then I saw Team 17's announcement, and I was just like, "Oh,
Wow.
There's no more words now, is it?" But like,
yeah, I mean, this is like the constant thing. No one's like gaming company X says we will do NFTs of this.
Yeah.
Everyone goes, "What the shit?" There's a big storm.
Yeah.
Then they go, actually, you know what? We're gonna go over here and get ourselves a hot chocolate and just sit down for a bit and get this all happened. It's fine.
Yeah, but I just don't like. Yeah, I don't get the need to sort of like. It's obviously like there's obviously two sides to this argument, and like, but the vast majority of people, I think, are just against it at this stage.
Well, did you see the other thing that was up there about there's an NFT platform called Hitpiece, which is about like selling your own music and stuff, and a lot of it's like basically video game music that some people have uploaded without permission. And like someone going, "Oh, by the way, just so you know, one of the tracks you're selling is one that was owned by Blizzard, who are now owned by Microsoft. Good luck with that."
Have fun,
because obviously
they're not going to be friendly.
Obviously, copyright and digital rights management, unlike NFTs, is actually enforceable.
Yeah, but I think like going back to the Team 17 thing, I think the worst part about it is the fact that they didn't tell half their teams. Like,
they didn't even tell their community managers and stuff they were doing it.
Like, but because like so many of the like, I think one of them came out and was like I'm getting so much slack for this because obviously they're the front line of all this. Like they're on Twitter every day, and it's like it's just such a like I get things have to happen at the top, but like you're not like and like whatever your thoughts are, is such a bad practice to like not bring that down.
This is something that we know is controversial. We know will cause a backlash.
Yeah.
So all the people who are going to have to deal with that backlash will just not tell them. That's fine. Can't see any.
It's like because like that's going to impact them, like, and it's going to impact their mental health. And so many of them come out and complained, and like the fact that they have to come back and go, "We've actually spoken to our teams this time, and no one agrees with us." So it's just like how can you just be that? What's the word? Just blind to the world. Like, I guess.
Just so like
oblivious.
Ignorant to it and oblivious.
Just,
the worst part is like I'm seeing a image and it's like a rainbow kind of worm. I think that was the one that released.
Yeah.
The thing is, if they release those as figures, I'd buy that. That looks cool as a figure. That'd be awesome. Do you know what I mean?
The most annoying thing is everyone says the same thing when they go, NFTs are good because ours are eco-friendly. Like that's the only problem. It's just like, and they're not like really that eco-friendly either. So like,
but I mean, the thing with them as well is like, I mean, using the analogy of what like Dale's just said about buying the figures or whatever else. So you'd buy that figure, and obviously there's nothing wrong with it. The NFT thing is basically saying, well, if you buy this, the receipt that comes with it is the only one of these receipts in the world. Yeah. So therefore, the price is higher up. That's what all an NFT is a digital receipt, which artificially creates scarcity. I'm the only one
of me in the world. I'm worth loads of money.
You're priceless, Dale.
Oh, I'm going to sleep happy tonight.
Someone's looked at like the world we live in, where artificial scarcity is the main reason that people like go hungry or are homeless stuff, because we've got enough of this stuff to go around, but because a few people own it and that ownership is concentrated, it means that there's a scarcity, so you can't actually just go and live in these empty houses or eat this food that no one else has eaten or whatever. And thought, I like this. What if we had the digital version of it and we used it to sell really awful looking monkey pictures? That's NFTs basically. That's the whole thing. It's just no.
Yeah, it's just
I'll buy
Right.
some.
There's two lessons I think from this situation. Number one, companies read the room because it's literally there
Oh my god!
in front of you on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and all these social medias you keep going on about. It's there. Like, read it.
It's not. They must all sit there with like Mrs. Moneybags and Mr.
Yeah.
£1,000,000 guy and just be like, this is a really good idea. And those be like, it's amazing. I don't know why they got really like that, but they just must stick to their own circle so badly. Like,
and obviously their monocles fall out in shock when they get to...
What do you mean the peasants don't like it?
Jarvis!
Jarvis! Tea and scold them all for me.
Two, if you are on the opposite side of an argument, don't be a dick to the community managers. Because, like, it's not fair on them.
Just don't be a dick.
Yeah,
just don't be a dick.
It's not their fault. They're exactly like you. They're just trying to pick up a paycheck. And unfortunately, I'm going to say it, but there's bellends at the top that make decisions.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Yeah, so just stop.
Is bellend libelous, or is it just? I think if you say someone X person is a tax evader or sex offender or whatever, that's potentially libel or slander. If you say X person is a knob, and that's just, how do you prove that you're not?
Well, actually.
Come at me, bros, because I got Phil.
My NFT doesn't use the same wattage that a kettle does. So
I've got a receipt for the word bellend, and I strike you too.
Oh, jeez. Well, I'll take us away from NFTs because they bore me. I'm not gonna lie, they really bore me. But
so you're not ready to do a full episode on them next time, then?
No, I will. I'll go away again. Like, it's not. It's just the arguments either side. Like, I don't know, it's just a bunch of people screaming at each other, and I've not been involved in either side, so I'm just like, I don't care. Like, I really don't care. I probably should, but at this point, Pokemon's just released a new game, and I'm playing that. Just let me play that.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think obviously there's loads more people who are like far more informed than me or on a lot of this stuff, but I think certainly the most informative thing I've seen. It's a bit of a long watch because it's like a 2-hour documentary thing, but Folding Ideas on YouTube, which has basically got this whole video called The Problem with NFTs, which absolutely covers the whole thing. It's just, I think, probably far more authoritative than I could ever be. So
you're an authoritative person, Phil. Don't let the world tell you you're not, okay?
Thank you. I will try. I will try.
Authoritative. But yeah, is there anything else you want to say before we round out the episode? Anything else we didn't touch on?
Get good,
kid. Get good. Scrub. Oh my god, you're trash. No, nothing. No. Dynasty Warriors 8 was a 9 was a disgrace of a game. Don't ever buy it. I needed to get it in somewhere. But yeah, we've been UnCapt. I've been Squigs. Dale. I keep saying Squigs, but I should just say Dale. But I don't know. This is Lloyd. This is Phil. Right?
Oh, you got it the wrong way around this time.
Damn. This is Phil. Wait, this is Lloyd. This is Phil. We've been UnCapt. You can follow us on social media at UnCapt Gaming everywhere, right?
It's
everywhere.
I keep searching up UnCapt Review, but we're
not follow us on Snapchat.
You can't follow us on Snapchat. We don't use Snapchat, but all the actual social medias, we're on there. YouTube.
Remember, we're millennials. We don't use
Snapchat. We're millennials. I said
millennials.
What we do? And yeah, we hope you have a lovely week, and we will catch you on the next episode. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Have a wonderful time. Bye.